Hey guys, Mike here with Rapid Coins. It's May 6, 2022, and it's time for a crypto market update. Things are looking ugly, and we've sliced through that support line that you probably remember. I've been drawing this. You can pin this either here, you can pin it here. Either way, we failed it, right? No matter where you put it. As you recall, what I really didn't like here, especially since we sort of bounced here, is, well, first up, we have the series of lower lows and lower highs that continues pretty much unabated, right? I mean, we're not able to breach any of the spike highs here. And that's usually very negative. I mean, any attempt to kind of make it, any type of upside progress is immediately being sold lower. Almost looks engineered to me. I mean, this looks really, really nasty. I mean, it's been like this for a long time. You know, we've been through the ringer, I mean, since November. And it's actually something I want to show you. You're going to find very, very interesting. Very interesting, actually. So, but let's just finish the thought here. Well, where are we going now? Well, I think we're probably heading down here. 29,000 something. I don't see anything that might stop it. We might hear maybe. I mean, even if we bounce here, it's probably just going to be a retest of that what is now effectively a resistance line. So things are getting more and more difficult for us. So we have this final line of support here around 29,000, like near the 30,000 line. That's really the last line of defense. If that one gives, we're basically in the shitter. no sense in sugarcoating it, right? Equities have been really, really hammered. And I think to a certain extent, what's happening here with the market is that a lot of people are scrambling to maybe fulfill margin calls. They're cashing in anything that they can get their hands on, and I think crypto is probably among one of the luxury asset classes that they think, okay, screw it, right? I'm dumping it, and I'm gonna maybe I'm dumping it into commodities, who knows what. The one thing that's interesting, we kind of got punked last week on Sunday. We finally switched into Bitcoin mode, right? Remember that somewhere in here. And now it's swinging back up. That happens sometimes. We've actually been really lucky. This has not happened to us very often last year. We've always gotten a pretty clean signal. See that? Here it was close, but it was on Sunday. And it really, and then we got into Ethereum. I'm talking about Cryptonaissance, by the way, the system we're trading. And then we switched into Bitcoin. So we're kind of, now Ethereum is gaining again, and the way it goes, the way it looks here, most likely we're switching back into Ethereum mode next week. Well, I hope it kind of can gain a little bit, but should you switch into Ethereum right now today? Maybe. I try not to trade against the system, to be honest. So I personally am not gonna do it. Just FYI, I'm just gonna hold it until Sunday and then switch it. Got to be honest about it, because that's the system and that's one I want to trade. But there's no exact science here. I mean, it could again turn back tomorrow, and then we'll be happy that we stayed, in Bitcoin as opposed to Ethereum. This is the chart I want to show you right here, and this is extremely interesting. And let me explain to you why. If you actually, this is paid. By the way, this is the US dollar currency index, the DXY, and you might be. With all the talk that's going on about currencies and about the dollar in particular, and the dollar losing value and hyperinflation, I mean, I've been talking about it. And it's going on. It's just the dollar is falling a lot slower than everything else. The euro is falling against a falling dollar. The British pound is falling against a falling dollar. Does that make sense? The yen is falling against a falling dollar. It's basically accelerating lower faster. So the DXY is just an index that measures the dollar against everything else. It doesn't really tell you anything about purchasing power. It's just, dollar against a basket of other currencies. Guess which currency it's actually not falling against, gaining against? That's the Russian ruble. Love it or hate it, but the Russian ruble was actually, last time I checked, about 65. I tried to buy some a few weeks ago because I kind of suspected that, being an evil speculator and all that. And I couldn't buy it. I tried everywhere. I looked around. There was no way. It's obviously being prevented. We all been prevented from buying rubles. I wish I could have bought some rubles. Yeah, no. I mean, what you gonna do? But would have retained some value. But we're not allowed to buy rubles, so we're stuck with the dollar, which is probably the best asset we can hold in the West. But there's something else about this, more general, that I want to highlight. Let me show you something. Let's go back to Bitcoin. Okay, and let's zoom out a little bit. And put my head over here. Okay, so let me put it back to log. Okay, so when kind of did our troubles begin? When did things go really well? When did things go sideways, right? I mean, they've been effectively going sideways since when? Since here, right? What is that? That's like May of 2021, right? And then we dropped like a rock, and we've been through this thing. And then it bounced higher for like, between July and early November. See, this is what is this? The low was in mid-July, like 20th of July, let's call that, 19th, 20th, something like that. And then here we are like 10th of November, right? So 19th of July, 10th of November. And then since then, we've been hammered again. Okay, so keep that in mind, right? And let's look at this. This is the dollar index, right? Here it is bottoming out. It was around 90, right? Right now it's trading at 103. Oh my God, it's crazy. I mean, I'm loving it in Europe because my bills just got a lot cheaper. But of course, from a business perspective, I don't like it. But you might have suspected what I'm pointing at. Look at this. That's like NMA. That's when the dollar turns. See that? And then between November 21 and February 2022, it's going a little bit sideways. That was, we did have a period in between. Let's go back to Bitcoin here when we're going up. So it was like July 2021 to November 2021, correct? Okay. So where are we here? July, see, it's November 2021, and here is July, right? So we do have a period where for some reason Bitcoin was rising along with the dollar. And can I explain that? No, I can't actually, but it just happened. But I mean, obviously we care a lot more about what has happened recently, right? I mean, the dynamics between all these currencies changed. And also back then, the whole situation wasn't as critical globally yet as it is now. We're already in the middle of COVID, of course, right? But this has been really the nastiest advance here in the dollar. And FYI, it's actually approaching, or it has actually exceeded already, briefly, the recent highs this way, up here in 2017. Right, it was like actually December 2016, right? That's when it was topping here, around the same levels, and then it fell like a rock. And here also it fell like a rock. And what else? Can I zoom out more? Actually, I looked it up. It's not on this chart, but I can tell you that the USD did only exceed these types of levels back in 2003 and 2002. So, I mean, like we'll have to go like a little bit post 9/11 to find the dollar this strong. Yeah. Interesting, right? So this is basically what I wanted to convey. We are gonna go on exponential here. Oh, something just happened here. 1 second. Let me pause the recording. Okay, well, that brings me to this. I don't know what happened here. I think I got reconnected. I want to show you this actually a little bit later. So let me pause real quick and then jump back. Well, okay, I'm back. So I was talking about the dollar, and not sure exactly what my train of thought was, but I was talking basically about the previous highs here. 2002, 2003 being the only times when it was higher than these levels here, right? In 2016, when was that? 2020 as well. So on the euro, actually, we're heading towards par on the dollar. The euro is basically semi-crashing. And the ECB cannot get itself to raise interest rates from the negative, from the ZERP monetary policy that they're still following right now. So not sure what's going to happen over here in Europe, but anyway, when I'm looking at this, I'm saying, okay, well, this could go on for quite a while, but it seems to already running a little bit into resistance here. See that? It's kind of topping out a little bit. So it's quite possible that we might see we might have seen, well, on my end here in Europe, the best, right? Oh yeah, I was talking about prices and life getting a lot more cheap here for me, a lot cheaper than I bought actually a car like in December, man. I mean, that was right here. Damn it, I could have saved a lot of money if I had bought it now. But if I had bought it now, bro, I would not even get it. From what I'm hearing with the supply chain, I'm supposed to actually get it in July, August, like 8 months later. Can you believe that? And yeah, probably if I would order it now, it might be a year or two. So you can't even, here in the US, you can't even buy new cars anymore. Is that true? Anyway, so let me flip over. Let me pause again and then flip over to the other chart I want to show you, which I think is really interesting. All right, so this is Ninjatrader, and I've kind of resurrected some old code that I've been working with over the years, and I'm trying to interact with this here. Okay, right. And what you're seeing here is called a net line. Basically a net line indicator, and it's not really an indicator actually. What it is, it follows a price pattern. It's not per se an indicator because it is a derivative of price in a way, but it's not that it abstracts price or it basically looks at a series of candles, right? For instance, this one is a good one here. If you count, right, 1, 2, 3 candles up, right, 3 new highs, it'll draw a line here, see that? Actually, I'm sorry, it'll draw a line on the bottom. So if you get 3 new highs higher, like 1 high, 2 high, but this is actually 1, 2, 3. This actually is lower, right? So, okay, 1, 2, 3. It paints right here, starting from this candle. See that? There's a net line. That's actually called a net line sell level. Okay, let's do it one more time. Let's do it, let's say, with this one right here, right? So in this case, it's the other way around. It's actually 3 lower lows, right? Lower lows. So you have to count 1, 2, 3. See that? 1 low, 2 lows, a little bit lower, and another low. See that? So it's basically 3 lows, and the second and third low need to be lower, and here the opposite. The second and third high need to be higher than these two, and of course one needs to be always higher than the other one. So 1, 2, 3, and here with the lows is 1, 2, 3. Do you see that? Okay, let's do it one more time. Let's pick, for instance, it's like when you program in it, it actually shows you a lot that you actually wouldn't even see, which I really find interesting. See here, this one starts on this candle, right here. So what we have basically this candle. So we have is lower lows, right? So it's where's one? This one here. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Right. This is a low. This is a low. This is a low. See, and then it paints the high right here. So what is this concept? Well, it's a breakout concept, and as you can tell, it actually works extremely well. Because a lot of times you see price being rejected right at these net line levels. And this is something I've been actually using for a very long time. I think I've been using this for like well over 10 years. And I stole this concept from the author of the Spiral Calendar. Oh my God, I'm trying to remember who that was. You guys can look him up. Actually, let's look him up real quick. See if I can pop up a browser. I'm on Windows. I never used this. All right, Spiral. I haven't thought about the guy for a long time. He uses some weird price pattern. Oh, Christopher Carolan. Yeah, that's him. Christopher Carolan. Honestly, I don't follow his stuff anymore. It was a long, long time ago. He's basically using it has even to do with moon cycles and things like that. And I thought it was a little bit too exotic. But I followed him for a while and I know him, and way back, like 15 years, 20 years back. And this is one concept that he talked about, which is just purely technical, right? Which I really, really liked. And I wanted to show you what's going on here. The same chart, right? This Bitcoin USD in Ninjatrader, right? So it looks a bit different than TradingView. And you can see, right? For instance, here, this is very, very clear how we bumped against the Netline buy level, actually. This would have been a buy signal here. Actually, quite a few, because it's starting to stack, see that? And we got rejected, and then the price got paid, right? Same here, right? There was an opportunity to breach over, but we didn't even get close to any of these Netline buy levels. Similarly, if there's a Netline sell level, see that? If you follow this through, this is a daily chart, by the way, right? If you follow this through, you can see, right, here, rejection, drops down, slices through, doesn't even retest. That shows right away how weak it is, right? At this point of the trend. Continues down. There's not even a net line anywhere, which shows this is congestion. So that's what I actually also like about this concept, because if there's congestion where things are just bouncing all over the place, it doesn't really paint one. And that's very important to keep the noise out. So there's something very elegant about this level of thinking, which like normal vanilla like indicators, right, are not really reveal or don't really entail. And here we breach through. See that? Breach through again. So another sell signal, rejection at this netline buy level, continues lower. So, and this has been going on for quite a while now. If you kind of go back here, like right here, see, starting from here, we're actually slicing through a netline sell level here. And see that, how we're not even getting close to any of the buy levels, slicing through another one, slicing through another one, slicing through another one. No, we don't even get close to the buy levels here, netline buy levels, that's why, NLBLs, that's why I call them, or NLSL. So here, slice through again, a little bit congestion, tries to come back, doesn't really get out of the gate, paints one netline buy level, gets rejected, and this one starts, see 1, 2, 3 down, puts it right here, doesn't overcome it, and instead triggers another sell level, and then the journey continues down. And same here, see what's happening, and see how spot on this is. I mean, this is really, really, really excellent. And I just stuck this out the other day because I hadn't had Ninjatrader running on my local machine for a while now, because I switched to M1 on OS X and I didn't have parallels running properly, and I didn't have the proper Windows installed. But this is actually a VPS, so I'm just using a remote VPS, and I installed it and just popped it up, because this is part of the code I wrote. I wrote this indicator, in Ninjatrader, so it's not available in Ninjatrader in case you're wondering. This is my code. I also have a Thinkorswim, by the way. I've really used this for a long time. And yeah, I mean, you can see, right, the price action, how it unfolds. So here was one buying opportunity. It overcame it. That's sometimes difficult to catch because, see, you breach and you might have a buy signal and then you get sliced back. So this is kind of the problem here, right? And then here, when it slices, see this big slice through? That's usually a bit suspicious to me when it does that, because it means like all the energy has been, expended. And sometimes this is exactly what happened. It just gets dragged down again, Same here, see, push, very strong push through that. This attempt to push through, and then it gets dragged down again, see, and boom, boom. Here finally works its way up. See, it gets reversed. So my personal rule is, if the way I trade this, right, is that if it gets reversed, like a buy level, and then that same buy level, even a little bit later on the line when it expires. Expired after five candles, by the way. I still recognize it once it has triggered, if that makes any sense. If it hasn't been triggered, then I don't recognize it, right? And see how it acts as support now? Acts as support, works its way up, things go sideways. We're starting to paint net lines on both ends, which usually when you see it being painted on both ends, you already can tell that the price action is becoming more noisy, right? Because on a clear trend up or clear trend down, let's see if we can find a clear trend up. Here's a clear trend up. See that? So what do we have here? This was the last netline sell level that was breached. Nice signal, but gets reversed again. Dances around a little bit. There is another one here, but it gets reversed. And then here it slices through a net line buy level, and then it just, it's off to the races. And you can see from here on, right, this nice trend, it doesn't even paint any net line buy levels, just net line sell levels, right? Just leaves it behind until it finally runs out of energy. And then finally, that's the question then, right? Which at one point is basically, giving it up. And that's what happens here. Things get noisy. That's the noisy tape. That's usually the hardest part to overcome. That is kind of what makes it difficult as a system. But, I think I have some ideas of how to actually overcome that. And then here again, it just works its way back out, and unfortunately gets really dragged down again. So, I think in terms of just assessing the trend, I think this is extremely valuable. I mean, in my book it is, right? Because it's not really an indicator per se. It's just a good way to describe and look at the price action by setting inflection points, which I find really key, in more incremental inflection points as opposed to the big ones they're usually attracted to with their human eyes, right? Like, what I was drawing on the line, those lines I drew, for instance, right? Or major support lines, like, I don't know. Oops, sorry, other way. Support lines here, even bigger. Okay, right here, say that, you draw a line here or something, right? And you say, okay, we can, but this is a different concept. This is much more incremental concept, and that's what I like about it. So looking at that, this looks pretty bad, because we just, again, tried to overcome this. We failed right here, by the way. It's just crazy. That's why I like this concept so much, and boom, it falls right back. So I might actually turn this into kind of like a some type of subsystem to integrate, maybe into side action for Cryptonaissance. I'm not sure, but it's something I'm considering because it works extremely well, and I think it gives us a lot of input. And I'm probably going to start showing this a lot more. Okay, so let me pause real quick and then go back to TradingView. Okay, I'm back with TradingView, and this is the altcoin sector, right? And God, things got really ugly. I was actually holding KNC, and waves we had cut for quite a while ago. FTT as well, we cut that one a while ago. So there's a bunch of coins we were trading that were doing. No, actually, waves we didn't hold. Sorry, mistake. We did not hold waves with the altcoin mastermind. We did hold KNC though. We wrote it out very, very nicely, but it just started dropping and dropping and dropping, and we had to let it go at some point because it was just it was clear it wouldn't come back. I mean, it was basically doing a wave, right? Same thing. So what I want to show you though is that the entire altcoin sector is just getting killed. Especially once I just start zooming in. I mean, look at this, right? This is basically Ethereum, and Ethereum is down. This one's the reference here, Ethereum, and everything else here below is just ugly. And I was working with the mastermind guys, and I looked at that last Sunday. I'm like, oh my God, every coin we looked at was just getting hammered, and I kind of knew it's not going to hold the market. I mean, because when all the altcoins get hammered, even the best altcoins get hammered so hard, it's usually a really bad sign. So what you're going to do, right? That's the altcoin market not looking good. I think looks like we have more pain ahead of us, unfortunately. That's been my assessment actually for a while now. I hate to be right with this stuff. I'm sorry, guys. I wish I could tell you something positive to be right. I mean, if this snaps back, then we could. Remember a few weeks ago, was it 3 or 4 weeks ago? What I said to you guys, that was probably more than that. It was probably already like back in March, mid-March. What I said to you was like, what I wanted to see is not something like this. What I wanted to see is another slice down like this. Something really dramatic that was pulling back, snapping back right away. But buyers would say, this is where I'm stepping in. That's why I wanted to see a forceful action. And I think now I understand what I was talking about, right? I want to see a forceful action that shocks everyone, but gets big dip buyers interested. But what we've seen instead was what I didn't want to see. An advance followed by a really consistent and systematic selling activity. But slow and methodical, which is the worst, because it kind of lulls you into it's like a snake, like, kind of hypnotizing you. You're just watching it, and while you're being eaten or something. It's just, my analogies are off. Okay, I get it, guys. But you know what I'm saying, right? This is this price action. It's just kind of has been drawing us down and down, and then here, every time we're pushing close to 40,000, like, okay, it's going, and we're losing again. And now we are at like freaking 39,000 something. Yeah, it's not good. Oh no, I'm sorry. What am I talking about? 35,967. So it's gotten pretty ugly. I want to see a wipeout here, honestly. I want to see a shock and snapback. That's the best thing that can happen to us, because this slow, methodical churn that I've been seeing is just the worst, because this is what this is made of, right? This kind of price action. Now the good news is, of course, as ugly as it looks, this can always happen. Stuff like this can always happen, and at some point it will happen. And it's hard to imagine right now, because you're maybe in pain, or you're like, oh God, the crypto sector, I'm done with it. That's normal. That's your reptile brain talking. Don't listen to it. It happens. Staying power. This could snap back tomorrow to 45,000. We don't know, because any weird news or whatever, or the market changes its mind. These things happen all the time. Why do we propose such a scenario? Because, guys, this has happened over and over again. Okay, this was COVID, all right, but see here, boom, right? These things happen all the time, and they have happened over and over again. So when they happen, we don't know, but they happen all the time. Here things look really, really, look also nasty, and boom, right? So when things look the most dire, it's darkest at just before dawn, right? And you just have to kind of like accept that you're going to go through some pain in this market, because it's just what this crypto market is all about, right? It's just going to test your metal, but it'll go back into a growth phase at some point. When exactly, I cannot tell you, because right now we're thinking bearish. Everyone is in pain, and people just are disgusted, which is good, because when the bars starts emptying out, that's when usually these snapbacks happen. I did check actually my Reddit. I was waking up at night, take a wee and check my Reddit on my iPad real quick and see if anything interesting. I didn't check price. I don't do that really. I never check my my charts at night, but just kind of get the sense of things. And I didn't see much, not even memes or anything. What you usually see on the crypto crypto Reddit groups is like some guys they're licking each other's wounds, right? And I'm putting up funny memes and shit like that. And I didn't even see that. And that's actually good, because that shows me there has been very little activity in those crypto, Reddits, subgroups, right? Subreddits, they call it. And I'm an old dinosaur. Subreddit, that's what you call it. So in these subreddits, there wasn't really much activity at all, and that's good, because we want people to be disgusted. We want people to give up on it. We want everyone to say, screw it, I'm done with crypto. Because that's the time, when blood, when like Rothschild said, Baron from Rothschild said, when there's blood in the street, buy property. If nothing else, if you're not in Bitcoin, if you're watching this, you're not in Bitcoin yet, here it is. If you thought to yourself, man, I wished up here at 60,000, I wish I could buy crypto again at, half the price. Well, we might get there. But it's close enough. This is also a good buying opportunity. And so was all this, by the way. We're not too far away from where we were just like in January. It's just tragic that we haven't really made any progress since January, right? We've been here in January, and now we're back here, and it's annoying, right? We've basically lost 5 months here, and I wanted to get out of the gate as much as possible, as much as you as well, but here we are still waiting. So that's it. It's positive to see Ethereum bounce higher. This might lead to more strength across the entire sector. If you want, let me show you real quick the entire sector before I let you go. What is that? Total, yeah. That's the entire crypto sector, right? And well, let me move my big head here. Yeah, it's looking pretty ugly as well. So we're gonna have to really see a major recovery here for this to pick up. And until it does, we're just gonna have to go with the flow. Should we go into Ethereum? I'm sorry, Ethereum. Should we go into Ethereum? And I'm sick with the system, and that also applies to the question: should I go into Tether? It's the same thing. I mean, we're down now, and it's like this meme I saw, with DiCaprio. I'm not selling. I'm already down 99%. No, it's not that bad, but you get the point. I mean, if it snaps back and you're stuck in Tether, your psychology is going to change completely, because you're going to be like, damn, it just bounced back. I just sold it. Now it's in Tether, and then Bitcoin just bounced back. And I'm going to wait for another dip to buy back, and it doesn't occur. The psychology changes from pain then back to some aspect of FOMO. So I don't recommend it. I personally I just going to follow the system as is. So that's me. But of course do whatever it's right for you. Of course. Okay, guys, that's all I got. I hope it was interesting to a certain extent. I wish I had better news, but again, don't kill the messenger. Right? It's just I don't have no control over what the market does. I can just read the tape as best as I can. And I think I've been calling the swings pretty well and fairly accurately, and also fairly realistically. And that's the best I can offer, right? There's a lot of guys out there, just kind of like a takeaway, right? Last takeaway in this session. They'll put it on thick all the time. And I tell you, all these sweet lies. I mean, there's a bunch of people, and I'm not going to name any names. And some of them, who have been calling for bottoms here for the last freaking 6 months now, and I don't engage in that. I think it's unethical. I look at this tape. It looks bearish to me. Right? I mean, what else can I say? I'm an idiot. Like looking at some exotic indicator, I don't know, some futures activity or something, right? Premiums on futures contracts and things like that, or whatever, and point at that and say, hey, because the premiums are shifting, we are, we're going to be bullish again, or even implied volatility right now. I don't see anything that actually points in this being anything bullish right now, and so like just to go. What I mean is to just go and pick like a few raisins out of the pie, right? And point at that the few bullish raisins out of the pie, and point at that and say, hey, just this looks so bullish, right? This is like a reverse signal, and that's where we're going to be bouncing, and it must be happening. And then next week is another thing, and then it's this and it's that. Oh no, we have bottom. This was it, right? And over again. And I think people just, I mean, how can you lose credibility? And I just don't do that. I've been calling it as it is for many months now. And, did I see this reversal up here? No, I didn't. I thought we were going to continue higher. And then we fell off the plate here. And here I knew we were in trouble, absolutely. And I've been saying that. And then especially once we failed this, I knew we were really in trouble, right? And so I've been extremely forthcoming and, and also realistic about this. And I think that's the best I can offer you. Right, I think that's why you're following this and why you're watching my updates, because you want to know the truth. You don't want to get the sweet lies, because the sweet lies, they're gonna make you feel good right now, but they're not gonna help you when it comes to actually managing a portfolio or making good trading decisions. So we're still in trouble. We need to see a reversal signal here, and we haven't. And it looks extremely bearish, and we might work our way down here. The best I can point at right now, and that's my parting words, and I will let you go, is down here we need to hold this. And if we don't hold that, like the 29,000 mark or something, let's call it 30,000 plus minus, right? A few hundred bucks here. If that doesn't hold, I don't know. Then we're really up Schitt's Creek. But no signs yet that we're actually gonna end up there. Anything can happen here still. But if it happens, it better materialize soon, because we're slipping off the plate here, and it's not good. Okay, that's all for today. Thanks for swinging by. If you can, press the the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and see you next time. Cheers.